They ruled the world from a glittering palace suspended above the clouds. Their dynasty was forged on a foundation of betrayal, their legendary loves were public scandals, and their bitter arguments literally shook the very earth beneath mortal feet. But for the ancient Greeks, these were not mere stories, not simple myths told around a fire. They were the absolute terrifying reason the sun rose each morning, the reason the seasons turned, and the reason chaos could erupt without warning. This is the true story of the Greek gods, a sprawling, chaotic, and deeply dramatic epic that puts every modern soap opera to utter shame. You've arrived at Chronicon. Today, we begin the monumental task of unraveling the complete, unfiltered, and often shocking history of the Olympians. But to truly comprehend these powerful, flawed beings, we must first journey back to the very beginning, to the original sin that poisoned their bloodline from the start. A paranoid father's deepest, most consuming fear. The foundational trauma, the core of the entire Olympian psyche. A 2-minute summary? We can make that sing. The key is to emphasize the cyclical nature of the violence, the curse that begets a curse. Before the glorious heights of Olympus, the cosmos was under the iron grip of the Titans, raw primordial forces. Their king was Cronus, who did not inherit his throne. He carved it from his father's body, overthrowing the sky itself. But that act of patricide came with a price, a prophecy, an echo of his own crime. He would be overthrown by his child. And so, paranoia became his policy. With his sister wife Rhea, he instituted a reign of terror, not against enemies, but against his own family. Each time Rhea presented him with a newborn, a Hera, a Hades, a Poseidon, his solution was one of horrific simplicity. He would open his mouth and consume them. 5 divine children, alive but imprisoned, dwelled within the belly of their terrified father for ages. But a mother's love, forged in such agony, becomes a weapon. When her 6th son was due, Rhea's grief finally curdled into cunning rebellion. She fled, giving birth in secret on the island of Crete. And then she played the ultimate trick on the tyrant. She swaddled a stone, a simple, unfeeling rock, and presented it to Cronus as their newborn son. Think of the irony. The great Titan king, so fearful of a baby, was deceived by a stone. He swallowed it without a second thought. Meanwhile, the real child, Zeus, was raised far from his father's reach, his destiny hidden, nurtured on ambrosia and a burning need for justice and vengeance. The stage was set. The original sin of betrayal was about to be answered. When the hidden son Zeus finally came of age, he learned the horrifying truth. His siblings were prisoners inside their own father. His first move wasn't a declaration of war, but an act of subterfuge. Disguising himself as a humble cupbearer, he served the unsuspecting Cronus a potent, nauseating draught, a vile mix of mustard and wine. The result was a grotesque reversal of his ancient crime. The Titan King was violently ill, disgorging his children one by one. First, the swallowed stone, then Poseidon, Hades, Hera, Demeter, and Hestia. But they did not emerge as infants. They erupted into the world as fully grown, powerful, and righteously furious gods, their imprisonment having forged them in divine wrath. The war that followed, the Titanomachy, was a cataclysm that lasted 10 grueling years, shaking the foundations of the universe. Zeus, proving himself a master strategist, did not fight alone. He freed the monstrous allies his father had imprisoned, the Cyclopes, who forged for him the thunderbolt, and the hundred-handed ones, giants of unimaginable strength. To his brothers he gave iconic weapons, the trident for Poseidon, and the helmet of darkness for Hades. Victory was hard won. With the Titans finally defeated and cast into the pit of Tartarus, the three brothers faced a new question: how to rule. They decided their domains not by battle, but by chance, drawing lots. Zeus won the sky, Poseidon the sea, and Hades, drawing the shortest straw, received the shadowy realm of the underworld. And so, the age of the Olympians officially began. But as we'll see, winning a war is one thing. Ruling a family of gods is quite another. So the throne was seized, the world divided. Now let us meet the divine and deeply dysfunctional residents of Mount Olympus. First, the core six, the original siblings freed from their father's gut, each bearing the scars of that trauma in their own way. There's Zeus, the king, a brilliant strategist who won a war, but a notoriously terrible husband. His lightning bolt is his symbol, but his true legacy might be the countless heroes like Hercules born from his endless affairs that provoked his queen, Hera, the prototypical queen, powerful, regal, and endlessly vengeful. She wasn't born evil. She was forged by perpetual humiliation. Her sacred peacock's eyes are a permanent reminder of the 100-eyed giant she set to watch one of Zeus's lovers. Their brothers rule the domains below. Poseidon, the earth shaker, god of the sea. More than just oceans, he controlled earthquakes, and in a fit of creative passion created the very first horse. Then there's Hades, the most steadfast and just of the brothers. His underworld isn't a hell of punishment, but a neutral, shadowy kingdom for the dead. His story, however, is inextricably linked to his sister, Demeter, goddess of the harvest. She is the source of all life on earth. When Hades took her daughter, Demeter's grief plunged the world into the first winter, a stark lesson that even the gods are subject to the laws of nature. And finally, the gentle firstborn, Hestia, goddess of the hearth. She represents the home they never truly had, having voluntarily given up her throne to keep the peace. But a family grows. Next came the powerful next generation. There's Athena, who burst fully formed from Zeus's brow, goddess of wisdom, not brute force, and her half-brother Apollo, the radiant god of the sun, prophecy, and music, whose oracle at Delphi shaped history. His twin sister Artemis is his opposite, a fierce, independent huntress, protector of the wild and of young women. Then we have the complications. Ares, the god of raw, ugly bloodlust, disliked by nearly everyone. His secret affair with Aphrodite, the goddess of love born from sea foam, was famously exposed when her husband, the kind and brilliant smith god Hephaestus, trapped them in a net for all Olympus to ridicule. Rounding out the court is the quick-witted messenger Hermes, a trickster, born thief, and Dionysus, the last to arrive, god of wine, ecstasy, and theater. He represents the chaos they all tried to rule, proving that even on Olympus, the party could always crash the palace gates. The gods of Olympus were more than just characters in a story. They were an entire framework for understanding the world. Their family dramas explained natural phenomena. Their passions gave a name to human emotions. Their conflicts mirrored the complexities of society itself. For millennia, their stories have been a wellspring of inspiration for artists, and their names are woven into the very fabric of our language, our science, and our culture. They were immortal, yet profoundly human, flawed, passionate, and heartbreakingly complex. In their triumphs and their failures, the ancient Greeks saw a reflection of themselves. And now, the chronicle continues. We want to hear from you. Which pantheon should we unravel next? The brutal, fate-driven world of the Norse gods, with their frost giants and the prophecy of Ragnarok? Or the mysterious, animal-headed deities of Egypt, with their cosmic scales of judgment and their journey through the underworld? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the past, please give the video a like and subscribe to Chronicon and press the bell icon for more updates. It truly helps us continue these journeys.